Good afternoon, guys. Finally warm enough day today. It's about 70 degrees, April 19th. It's the first warm day I've had. I'm going to take a quick look inside this beehive and see how this colony is doing. This is the only one that I had make it through the winter out of all of these. So this is my first time opening it up, other than to put a feeder on. There's been a feeder on it for about a month. Let's take a look and see what we find. It's going to be a quick look. I don't want to disturb them too much or possibly damage the queen, so I'm just going to keep this quick and easy. Just want to see if they're making brood and just kind of see how big the colony is overall. They definitely seem to be out in force when it's warm out, so they're bringing in lots of pollen now. I'm not sure if there's any nectar sources yet. We don't have a lot blossoming here, but there is pollen. They're definitely loaded up with pollen going in and out. This is just my feeder frame. Probably need to replace this too. I checked the other day and it was actually, yeah, it's empty now. Get the bees off of it. Kind of exciting. I've been waiting for a good warm day to do this. This is my summertime hobby, getting in these guys and doing my weekly inspections all summer long. Definitely looks like there's a lot of bees, which, like I said in the last video, if you want to check that out, I'll link it right up top. But like I said in the last video, this colony was minimally treated. It was actually I considered it my worst colony. Going into the winter, and here we are. Still quite a bit of candy. This is a candy board that I made, so there's still quite a bit of candy on top. They ate the whole center out of it. Probably just going to pull that off now and get rid of that. This definitely looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 frames of bees in here, so it looks like they're pretty good size. I'm not going to get down into the bottom deep. This has got 2 deeps on it. I just want to see if they're making brood and what's going on here in the center. Kind of clean up some of this stuff too while I'm at it, because I didn't do it when I put the feeder on. I'm actually surprised that they haven't eaten it all. But that's okay. It means they're bringing in food, and they also had the liquid feed on. There's been some cold nights, and there's actually some cold days, and I was a little worried they wouldn't even be able to take the liquid, but they definitely did. I had a whole gallon on there. Pull one of these edge frames if there's nothing on. Give myself a little room to work, and then I'll pull them over and try to get one of these middle frames out. Like I said, I don't want to disturb them too much this early in the year, so if I damage the queen this time of year, it should be impossible to replace. Boy, this one's glued right in there. And there's actually, when I put that back, there's a lot of honey on that side, so I'll put that back with the honey towards the cluster. Actually quite a bit of honey on the next one too, so they did load up on honey in the fall. They were pretty well situated. Yeah, there's quite a few bees down in the lower deep too. I can see them down there, so I'm happy to see that. This is solid honey. Well, solid, the exception of the bottom. They've eaten all that out, but this side's all honey. Looks like the next one's been pretty much eaten. Definitely good healthy population of bees. I'm happy to see that. I would expect to find some brood up here. There They're working. They're down in the cells. They're actually bringing in nectar. There's quite a bit of nectar here, or actually it might be what might be my my feed too. They might be storing it. Packed full of pollen on this side. I don't see any eggs over here yet. Lots of pollen though. They're definitely loaded up on pollen. It looks like I'm getting into a frame that getting a little breezy. I'm not going to keep this open too long. This is where I would expect to find some brood. And there's brood in here. There's larvae and eggs. They're laying down in the cells, which means she was here about a day and a half or 2 days ago. That's essentially all I wanted to know. I just wanted to make sure that they were making brood. So I'm going to close this up and give it a few weeks, and then start with my regular inspections again. Looks like most of the bees are actually over on this side. And this is really exciting to see. Been a long winter. They're not too thrilled that I'm in here. Let's get that closed back up. And I'm going to spin this one so the resources on this, the honey on this frame, are towards the center. It looks like they've got plenty of honey in here though. There's a lot of honey on these other frames. Now that it's getting warmer, they can spread out. I was a little worried about them starving even if there was honey in there, just because they tend to eat the center of the cluster out and then can't get to the honey because it's too cold to break the cluster. That's cool. And this colony I'll definitely be splitting. I'm not sure when. I'll have to keep an eye on them, but they look like they've already built up quite a bit. I'm really surprised there's a lot of bees in here. Really happy to see that. Made my day. Wasn't sure what I was going to find going in here. I had a suspicion that they were doing pretty good because when it's warm, like I said, they're out in full force. I'll have to get some liquid feed back on them too here shortly. That's just 1-to-1 sugar water. I'll mix up another bucket and bring that back out and just plunk it on here. Now, I'll be doing a lot of videos on beekeeping this summer and homesteading in general. So if you're into that sort of thing and want to follow along, we operate a small farm here in Vermont and a farm store. And I tend to make a variety of different kinds of videos. Beekeeping is one of them. But even if you just like the beekeeping and want to keep an eye out for the beekeeping videos, feel free to subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and thank you for watching.